Hey everybody, welcome to Writing the Lights Out. My name is P.T. Hilton and let's talk writing. So, I hope everyone had a great week. I'm having a fun week. In the writing side of things, I'm getting ready to start working on my next novel, which I'm pretty excited about. It's going to be a fun one. Kind of the basic premise is a guy gets a ransom note that he needs to pay $1 million or these kidnappers won't return his son. They'll kill his son. The only catch is that this man does not have a son, at least. He doesn't have a son that he knows about. So that's the basic premise. We're going to build it from there, and I think it's going to be a fun little thriller kind of a novel, and I'm pretty excited to get to work on it. What I've been thinking about a lot as I'm preparing to do this novel is titles. I kind of have strong opinions about a lot of titles. There's some I really like and some I really don't like. The titles that I do like are the titles that really add to the narrative weight of things, not just adding to the tone of the book, but also adding to the actual weight of the narrative. And here's what I mean. For an example, let's look at the titles of two Stephen King books. One that I like and one that I don't like as much. First of all, the one that I don't like as much, an example of that would be Carrie, which is essentially just the main character's name. And obviously, Stephen King doesn't need to take any advice from me. He's doing okay for himself. But it's just the main character's name. There could potentially be a better name for it out there. A title that I do like, though, a lot is The Stand. The reason I like that is that throughout the book, the main characters are going through all these struggles. They're being hunted down by the villain. They're facing off against basically the extinction of the human race in this super virus. All this thing's happening, but at the same time, the title of the book is The Stand, so you know that somewhere in there they're going to make a stand against this evil, and you kind of have that hope that's always being built towards in the book, which makes it a great title. Another example of one I like a lot is Atonement. Right, you kind of know right away what's kind of happening in that book at the beginning when kind of the crime or whatever sort of happens. You know that there's some atonement that's going to happen. I like that as a title. In my own last book, Regulation 19, early in the book you find out that there's 18 regulations. And right away that gets you thinking, ooh, there's got to be another regulation. This book's called Regulation 19. And when Regulation 19 is finally revealed, it adds a little more weight to that, I think, because you've been waiting for that because you knew that was the title of the book. So I've been thinking about that and thinking about what I'm going to call this book about the mysterious kidnapping of the son this guy did not know he had. I've been thinking about that a lot. So that's kind of where my head is. Interested to hear from you what titles you like and don't like as well. The other thing I've been thinking about this week a lot is I'm kind of considering starting a new podcast. I recently finished up my long-running guitar podcast, which I did with my good friend Pipes. We went on for about 8 years. We finally ended it because, well, for a number of reasons. One is that we just felt like we'd said a lot of what we had to say about guitar, didn't have a whole lot left to say. But another was, since there was two hosts, it was getting harder and harder to connect and get that going. So I'm kind of considering starting a new podcast on my own, and this would be an interview podcast, interviewing some of my favorite authors that inspired me or whose work I just like. So interested to see if that's something you'd be interested in listening to, if it's something you think would be cool, and if so, who are some of the authors that you'd like to hear from? So, probably won't get that going till the new year, but I just wanted to put that out there into the world and kind of see what you all thought of that idea. That's all for this time. Head on over to pthilton.com and check out the blog. I'm going to start doing the weekly Something to Love blogs again this Wednesday. I was off that for a little while I had my nose in the novel, finishing up on Regulation 19, but now I want to get back to that even though I'm starting this next novel. So that's all for this week. I'll talk to you next time, and until next week, keep writing the lights out.